Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Gina, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Syngoniums. And Syngoniums, well, first off let me say, Syngoniums have always been one of my very favorite genuses of plants. I will admit that in recent times, recent months, recent year, they haven't been they haven't been at the top of my list of favorites, but I will never not love Syngoniums. Never not love Syngoniums. So if you watch my videos regularly, you know, like back here behind me on my pink trellis, this is all Syngoniums back here, except for one plant, which is actually new to the trellis, and I'm not going to go into that one plant because we're talking about Syngoniums today. But I just want to share with you my entire collection, my entire Syngonium collection. And I think the last time I did one of these videos was like 2 years ago. And my collection, I pretty much have everything that I had 2 years ago. Maybe a couple missing. Maybe 2 or 3 no longer with me. Yeah, 2 or 3, maybe 4 no longer with me, but for the most part, everything is still with me 2 years later, and then there are some new additions. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to be looking at today. I'll have to count it up, and we'll put the number on the screen at the end of the video. But yeah, I'm excited to share with you all of my Syngoniums. Okay, so in addition to looking at all these different Syngoniums, I'll give you some care tips on these guys. I will say first off, first thing, most important, the best thing about Syngoniums, they are so darn easy. For me, they have been so easy care, so easy going. They're just like fantastic plants. Now, I live in Colorado, and I live in a really dry climate, and these guys do perfectly fine in ambient conditions, which is wonderful because, yeah, a lot of my most favorite genuses have to be in a grow tent because or in a cabinet, like begonias. All these begonias have to be in a cabinet in order to look their best. And I am really picky about my plants. I don't want any plants in my collection that look bad. It's just like, it's not good for my mental health. It makes me feel like a bad plant parent if my plants aren't looking like perfect. I'm kind of a perfectionist. What can I say? I really am. I admit it. It's a fault. So I have high expectations for my. And the Syngoniums make it really easy for me. They just really look so nice all the time. The only time they might start looking poorly is if they get attacked by some pest. And we'll go into what I have dealt with pest-wise with Syngoniums. We'll talk about that. And yeah, but one other thing before we look at our very first Syngonium. Did you guys notice my shirt? My t-shirt? Not this. This is just a shirt underneath. But do you see, I got my t-shirts. So I had mentioned when I did my plant shop update, I think it was in that video, one of my past videos, recent videos. I mentioned that Derek and I were designing t-shirts for my plant shop and for the YouTube channel. But it has happened. It has happened. So TPT, the pink trellis, and then below it here, thepinktrellis.com. And all of these plants, well, here's my pink trellis in the background here. And all of these plants are my plants. I took pictures of all of these plants. So, and right here, this is Syngonium panda, which we're going to be looking at. So yeah, but I'm loving my t-shirts. I love my t-shirts. My favorite shirt at the moment. Yeah, it's really soft, and I'm gonna have them in my shop. So let's see, this video is coming out on Sunday. Not sure what the date is of Sunday. Is it the 30th? Or is there 31 days in January? 31, 30, maybe there's 31 days, so maybe it's the 31st. I'm not sure. So that's when this video is coming out. So the shirts should be in the next shop update, which would be this coming Friday. So, and I have different sizes of shirts. The smallest I went is a medium. I have medium, large, extra, extra large. I'm wearing a large, and these are, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing it's 100% cotton. This has been washed cold, put it right in the dryer, normal cycle in the dryer, and it washed beautifully, and it's soft, and it didn't like fade, and I'm really happy with it. So anyway, so these are going to be in the shop. I just have to figure out pricing, and I would like to be able to ship these overseas, like internationally also, in case someone internationally would like one of these shirts, but I just have to figure out if I can do that. I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out on my website. So I'm hoping they will be available in the Friday shop update. So anyway, I just wanted to point it out in case you noticed. TPT stands for the pink trellis. So yeah, okay, now let's talk about Syngoniums. Okay, so for the most part, all the plants you're going to be looking at have at one time or another been up here on the pink trellis. So yeah. And then also they have, I did a purge recently of plants. I had a bunch of them in my bedroom. So when they were in the bedroom, they were right in front of a southeast facing window, and they did marvelously there. Here they're under a grow light. There's a big grow bulb above them. And then also this is a northeast facing window here. So they do get some, this is a bright room. This is a pretty bright room. I've got grow lights in front of me here. I've got the window here. I've got grow lights behind me here. So this is probably my brightest room. So anyway, we're gonna start. And I have a bunch of Syngoniums sitting here on my desk right now. So the thing is, you're gonna see, even though most of these plants are like 2 years old, they're gonna be little. Most of them are gonna be like little, like this. Maybe we'll just start with this one. So this right here is Syngonium green spot. And this one, so it used to sit back here behind me, and I don't know, for some reason I chopped it up. Now, why did I chop it up? Maybe because it got pretty big. It was kind of like leaning over, and I guess I just wanted to like revamp the trellis. So I just ended up chopping the whole thing up. So my big size plant, it was like this big, is now just a bunch of propagations. And then I also had a bunch of wet sticks out of it, which I stuck in some moss, and and I'll show you a picture of how that is looking. It's just a big, like a Rubbermaid tub filled with a bunch of these little propagations. So this is pretty much the biggest plant I currently have of the Syngonium green spot. And it's really pretty. It has a light green background, and then it has this modeling of darker green, and then in the center you have pink. So it's a real pretty one. And and if I can find it, I will include how much I paid for this plant. Most of these, I think every single one of these I got off of Etsy, which is my go-to for buying plants because I can't buy plants for myself. Otherwise, I would say the pink trellis is my go-to for plants, but you know. So anyway, so most of these are from Etsy. Price will be on the screen, what I paid for this at the time, and you're gonna see these prices on some of these and you're gonna say, what? Prices have really come down on Syngonium pretty significantly. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw what I paid for, and you know, when we get to that plant, I'll tell you what I paid for it, and it was just absolutely shocking. So anyway, Syngonium green spot, that is number one. So now before we get to the next one, I thought we could talk about a little bit of care. So, you know, we'll look at plants and then we'll do a little bit of care and then we'll look at more plants and then we'll talk about pests and we'll just kind of go back and forth. So now, Syngoniums in general, they love water. They don't like to completely dry out. I don't even like test, like I'm the type of person who will use my moisture meter to make sure like my plants actually need water. I don't even bother doing that with the Syngonium because in my experience, I have never overwatered a Syngonium. Like even if the soil still feels wet, I just water them. I water them. They just love water. I've never rotted a Syngonium from overwatering. So that has been my experience. You can let me know in the comments if you had the opposite experience from that. I'd be really interested to know. And I think Syngoniums would actually be an awesome candidate for semi-hydro, like having them in lechuza pond or your own homemade DIY pond type of situation. I've never done that with the Syngonium. I keep all of mine in just like an aeroid mix and they do great. And they love to grow roots. And you will probably see on some of these I show you how the roots are just coming out of the bottom of the pots because they grow a lot of roots. So yeah, so I water weekly, once a week. Even if they look like they don't need water, I just give them water. So, all right, on to the next. Let's do this one. This is one of my bigger ones. So what you're looking at here, this is the Syngonium Mojito. A beautiful. Now some of the leaves, you're gonna get more variegation out of them, and some of them you might have less. And I've discovered, like if you get a Syngonium that doesn't have a whole lot of like contrasting between, you know, the light green and the dark green and that patterning, that doesn't mean your plant will never push out something like this, because in my experience it will. So you just need to have a little patience. And yeah, it's kind of fun to see what the plant is gonna do. So that is Syngonium Mojito. And this one, so this pot, it's potted into a plastic planter and sitting in this ceramic pot here, which is filled with water. I need to dump that water, but surprisingly, no roots are coming out of the bottom, which to me is shocking. Maybe because there's just one little tiny hole at the bottom. I don't know. Anyways, Syngonium Mojito. Okay, well, let's talk about pests, because recently, well, not that recently, over the summer, I discovered that this plant, this exact plant right here, got attacked by some western flower thrips, and it has been treated. They are gone. I did end up doing systemics on this, which I was a little bit leery of doing that because one of the big pests that Syngoniums will catch is spider mites. And they tell you using those systemics, I use the bonide granules, can cause like spider mites to get even worse. So I was a little bit scared because Syngoniums, I think the biggest issue they will have is spider mites. Spider mites just love Syngonium, and that has been my experience too. Sometimes it is a constant battle. I'm looking underneath at these leaves, and I am not seeing any spider mites, which is a good thing because for the longest time, this trellis, I was dealing with spider mites on that trellis. But currently, not to say that they are eradicated forever, currently, no spider mites, which is a wonderful, fabulous thing. But yeah. And then, okay, so that's Syngonium Mojito. I'm going to put this one back, and I'm going to grab another one, which would be the Syngonium Wendlandii, which is dripping on me. Oh, here you go. Here are these roots. I was talking about how they like to grow roots. That's what they like to do. They love to do that. Okay, so Syngonium Wendlandii, we were talking about pests. The pest I had that came in with this plant was scale. And I was shocked. Now, this was probably a year and a half ago. I discovered scale on this plant. Okay, but once again, also, this is just a cutting from the original plant. I no longer have like the original plant. I just chopped up that original plant. So this is one of the original plant's babies. And no scale. No more scale. Scale is pretty easy to get rid of, which is nice. But so that is another pest that Syngoniums can get, scale. But isn't this a beautiful one? So Syngonium Wendlandii, it has these, it looks velvety, like this deep green with this almost silvery green center. I just love this plant. I think it's one of the most pretty Syngoniums. And I think I have 2 more left that I can sell in my plant shop. May even be, I don't know if I'm posting one this week or not. I don't know, I have to look and see. But yeah, highly recommend adding this one to your collection. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, Syngonium Wendlandii, love it. Oh, and before we go to the next one, I just want to say, so I mentioned that it's easy to get rid of scale. The way I got rid of the scale was I used a DIY pest spray, it's mostly water with rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, some peroxide, some Castile soap, peppermint and tea tree Castile soap, and I just sprayed it. The rubbing alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol just like kills the scale. Kills it. So I might have had to do like a couple of times spraying, but it just took care of it. Like, yeah, pretty simple. And you can also use, I think you can also use systemics, the systemic bonide granules. I think that will also take care of it. So, all right, moving on. Let's grab one from behind here, another one from behind here. Here we have, this is the Syngonium 3 Kings, which is a beautiful, these Syngoniums have so many cool patterns, like colors and patterns. So it's a mix of a light green and a dark green and almost a little bit of yellowish green. Just a beautiful, beautiful. And each leaf is different. There's like no 2 leaves are the same. Gorgeous. And this is not the original. Like I said, like these Syngoniums, they're really fast growers, so you know they outgrow their space. So I feel like I'm like constantly chopping them up, which is awesome. I think it's awesome. It's great if you want to share plants with your friends or if you want to sell plants. It's just that they're fantastic. They're just fantastic. So Syngonium 3 Kings. And then let's see. We'll grab something over here. One of my oldest, probably one of my first Syngoniums I ever got was the Syngonium albo, which was so incredibly popular a few years ago. Hard to find, so expensive. If I can find what I paid for it, I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing this one in my Etsy history. I'm not sure if I got it from Etsy or not, but I'm sure I paid a lot of money for the original. Of course, this is not the original. This is a probably 3-year-old plant, a cutting from that original plant. But it's beautiful. It will always be one of my favorites. Look at that leaf. Yeah. Syngonium albo. And then, oh gosh, let's see. We'll do Syngonium batik. So the jerpy one. Once again, this is a cutting from the original plant. My original plant, yeah, this is like the biggest size I have currently of this variety because I chopped the whole thing up. So yeah, but look at the patterning on this one. So different. For me, I feel like let me grab it here again. Where is it? Oh, it was back here. So the 3 Kings and I always kind of, I don't know, to me these feel very similar. I mean, but even though they feel very similar, look at the pattern. The patterning is so different between the two. I don't know. For some reason, I think they're similar, but they're really not. They're all so unique and so beautiful. So that's Syngonium batik. I wish I had some bigger sizes of these plants to show you, but this gives you a general idea. Just imagine it more bushy. Okay, so another one that I have a small one to show you. So this is the Syngonium Lanocarti Road. The interesting or the cool thing about this one is the leaves are like red, and you mostly see the red on the underside of the leaves. It's very unique. I love this plant. It's gorgeous. It has that dark gothic cool look. I love black plants. I do enjoy a black plant. And while this is not technically black, it's almost black. So now I do have the mother plant of this one still, and I'm going to include video here of what it looks like. It's actually sitting behind me on the little table back there. And the plant has never been like a super fast grower for me. So this one, it is attached to the trellis, but it's like it doesn't want to give me leaves. It's like it has runners. It's a runner. Very much a runner. It reminds me very much of Syndapsis, like how the Syndapsis will get runners and no leaves. That's what this one is doing for me, so I wish it wouldn't do that. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know. Too much light, not enough light. I don't know. I can't figure this one out, but it is beautiful. And I do very much enjoy this plant. That's Syngonium Lanocarti Road. All right, the next one I'm going to share with you. So this here, it's a pink one. That's another thing about Syngoniums. If you enjoy a pink plant, there are so many pink ones in the Syngonium genus. So this one is called the pink Rolli, R-O-L-L-I. Not sure if it's Rolli or if it's Rolli. I'm going to guess it's Rolli because when the leaves come out, they come out rolled, like curled. And this one doesn't, okay, right here. See how it's kind of curled? They kind of are rolled up. This and here a little bit. Mine have started to open up more. I have, like when I looked online, most of them are really tightly rolled. So I'm not sure exactly what, what makes them not so rolled up. I don't know. I kind of prefer them not rolled up because you can see the beautiful coloration of the leaves when it's not rolled up. Which leads me to a talk about humidity. So now I told you most of my, like all of them, pretty much all of them have lived up here in ambient conditions and done perfectly fine. So, and my humidity is typically 30% or less. We do have a house humidifier, so it might be actually set at 35%, but I think it's more in between, like, I think it sits more between 30 and 35%. It's always higher in the summer, but yeah, in the winter for sure, it is on the lower end. Now this plant has always lived in my grow tent since I got it. I have not attempted this one up here in ambient conditions, so I'm not sure exactly what humidity this plant needs. I don't know if it would do well. Look at the underside, so pretty. It has kind of a mottled look to it. Look at this one right here. It's a gorgeous plant, pink Rolli. So maybe higher humidity makes it open up more, like mine is doing, since it's getting like 60 to 100% humidity in my grow tent, depending on the time of the day. But yeah, but in general, humidity for Syngoniums, not necessary. Yeah, they do perfectly fine in lower humidities. So yeah, but this is pink Rolli. Love this one. And kind of a slow grower. I've had this one not quite a year, but it is a slow grower. And I love how it's kind of bushy. It's kind of a bushy, more compacted grower rather than sending out runners like the last one we looked at. This one is more bushy, which I do enjoy that. Yeah, I prefer the slower growing Syngonium because they are such fast growers. I do enjoy when I come across one that is a slow grower. All right, next up, this is a pretty one, another pink one. There's probably going to be quite a few pink ones we're going to look at. So this here is called the Syngonium Pink Splash Illusion. And there's actually two different types. At this point, there might even be more. But at the time of acquiring these plants, there was only two types of pink splash. So there was just the regular pink splash, and then there's the pink splash illusion. And the difference between them is, if you're familiar with the red spot tricolor, the pink splash is kind of like that one. And maybe if I can find a good picture, I'll include a picture here of what the regular pink splash looks like. The difference is this one is more like, it has more mottled, it's more mottled splashing. More mottled like that. I love the vibrant pink on these. So this is a propagation from the original plant. When I did my purge last year, 2024 purge, like in the fall, I did end up chopping up the mother plant was pretty big. I ended up just completely chopping her up and making a ton of propagations out of her, and this is one of her propagations here. So that is the Pink Splash Illusion. I love this leaf. It's gorgeous. Oh, and the Pink Splash, like the regular version, I had one of those. I had both types. Well, what I did was I had chopped that one up, and I ended up selling all of my propagations without realizing. And I remember the day I sold, and it was a local sale. It was on Facebook Marketplace. I remember selling that plant, and before the guy came and picked it up, I realized it was my very last one. Like usually I keep one, I hang on to one of the propagations. Well, in that case, I didn't. And what could I do? I already sold it. He prepaid, he was coming to pick it up. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just have the pink splash, or pink splash, pink spot, pink splash. I'll just have the pink splash illusion in my collection. That's okay. I don't need to have both. All right, a non-pink one. Here we are looking at, this is the Syngonium angustatum. And this one has a unique shape. It's more, you see how it's like, it has distinct lobes, like the lobes grow distinctly from the rest of the leaf. Like you have like your arrowhead shape, like this one we just looked at. It's kind of an arrowhead shape. Well, in this case, similar shape, except these ears, the lobes, are just much more distinct. It's hard to see on this plant. Much more distinct. There, you can really see it there. This is a really nice plant. This is the last I have of this plant. It was huge and I chopped it up. I'm on the fence on whether or not I'm going to keep this one in my collection. It did get burnt because it's so tall. It did hit the light and got some burns on the leaves. But it's a nice plant. I don't know that it's one I'm going to be keeping in my collection. I don't know. This one might be going away. But it's nice to show you guys another variety of Syngonium that is out there. It's a very fast grower. So, and if you like that lobed look, if you like that coloration, if you want a really fast growing Syngonium, Syngonium angustatum is the plant for you. So, yeah. All right, another green one, and one of my favorites. It made it to the shirt, and in fact, I'm pretty sure, oh, maybe not. I thought maybe this was the one that was on, no, over here. Yeah, it is. It is. It is, this is this plant. I thought I had saved it for myself. This is the plant right here that is on my shirt. Syngonium panda. One of my absolute very favorite Syngonium, just because of that striking coloration of those leaves and the patterning of the leaves. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And once again, this is a propagation from the original. I have multiples of this plant. I've sold many of them in my plant shop. I still have more to sell in my plant shop, but this is the one I put aside for myself. It's on the shirt. Yeah, I can't get rid of this one because of that. So Syngonium panda, another beautiful one. And let's grab one from the trellis. Let's look at another one here. But first I need to let a certain little girl in because she's scratching at the carpet, wanting to come in. Come on. And she'll probably want to leave. You gonna say hello? You say hello. This is Nora. She had to come in. What? Say hello to everybody. Say hello. That's Nora. She's probably going to want to leave now because, yeah, hang on. All right, she's going to stay. She's going to stay. All right, let me grab another one from back here. So this is a really pretty one. Here's another pink one for you. So this one here is called Syngonium Pink Flecked. Here's a cool leaf. I don't know. Some of the leaves, when they come out, they're like, maybe here. Yeah, you can see like the flecking, like the flecked coloration. I know it's kind of dark a little bit. but the leaves are they kind of have like a flecked look about them. A little bit. Can you see that? It's pretty. It's not like your typical pink Syngonium. It needs to be attached there. It's flopping over. Maybe I'll do that real quick. Hang on. Let me grab some Velcro. I've got my crazy wad of Velcro here, pre-used. I just reuse it. Don't we all have like a little wad of Velcro like that? I think, probably, most likely. Let's see here. Just because it's so floppy, I want to secure it. There, so much better, so much better. And you can kind of, oh, okay, there. You see this? That is your pink flecked coloration. I have never propagated this plant. I don't think, maybe I have. I don't think I have though. It's really pretty. I know someone was, at one point, someone was asking if I would propagate this one. I don't know, maybe eventually. We'll see. But oh, so that's pink flecked. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it other than that it is a really pretty pink one, another really pretty pink variety that is out there. And then let's do, okay. Yeah, I can take this one down. So let me set this down here a second. And let me grab this one. So here, now, a lot of people who aren't collectors of Syngoniums, they'll have like 1 or 2 Syngoniums in their collection. And typically, this is one of the ones that they will have in their collection. So this is called the Syngonium Frosted Heart. And it's like gorgeous. Has like, it's kind of silvery frosting on the leaves. I think the reason a lot of people who aren't Syngonium collectors but do have this one in their collection, it's because it doesn't really look like a Syngonium. It looks like a philodendron. It looks very much like a philodendron, in my opinion. Isn't it pretty? Isn't this a cute pot for it too? Vintage find at the thrift store. Love the combination of the two. So this one was much bigger. I did chop it up, and I even have a little sampling of one of its babies right here. That is one of her babies. And this will probably be in the shop this Friday for sale. FYI. But yeah, that's Syngonium Frosted Heart. Just a beautiful, beautiful plant. And we'll set it back up here. It used to be like really tall. I remember chopping it. I think it was losing leaves at the like soil level. And I couldn't figure it out, and then I decided it needed a repot. Most likely it just needed a repot, and it did. So that's what happened with that one. All right, this one needs to go back. And let's grab another pink one. This here is the Syngonium Pink Spot. Beautiful, another beautiful pink one. It's mostly, okay, on the underside it's green. Like on the underside of this one, it's green. But the front part of the leaf is light pink with pink spots. Love this plant. Really pretty. It's probably one of my favorites. Maybe my favorite pink Syngonium, possibly. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, now the rest of these up here are attached to the trellis, so I can't grab any more of those, but I will include some pictures or some video of the next one we're going to look at, which is, we'll do another pink one. Let's stick with pink. So we're looking at, and I'm going to point it out real quick, right here. Can you see? Not really. Here, going up, inserting video. That is the red spot tricolor. And this plant, it's a tricolor. It has 3 colors. It has pink, green, and like a lighter green, almost yellow look to it. And it is a stunning plant. It has those lobes, those lobed leaves, distinct lobes on that one. And it's a nice fast grower for me. Love that plant. Okay, now I'm going to share with you, I mentioned a little bit ago that I talked about pricing and what I paid for some plants, and this is the one I spent the most money on. I'm going to grab it. It's sitting back here on this table. It is just a propagation. So all I have left of this is Syngonium aria. All I have left of this plant is just like this, propagations like this. Okay, are you ready for what I paid for this plant? 100, I think it was 100, 128, I think, $128. Oh, that's, yeah, I don't spend a lot on plants. Like, that's kind of my top limit. Maybe 150 might be my top limit spending on a plant. Yeah, the price has come so far down on these plants, it's ridiculous. But it is beautiful, and interestingly, this is the newest leaf right here. It only has 2 leaves. The original leaf, and then it popped out. It looks like it's entirely yellow. I think so. So it'll be interesting to see what the next leaf looks like. So this one was kind of half moonish, and this one is like almost entirely, it is entirely yellow. So I'm curious to see what the next one will be. But if this one is a fail, if this one just keeps putting out entirely variegated leaves, I do have more. I do have more little ones that, yeah. So anyway, so that's Syngonium aria. It's really pretty, very similar to the elbow. Here's the elbow. The difference is yellow variegation here and white variegation here. They're both fabulous plants. I don't know why this was so expensive. Why was it? Because it's yellow variegation, I guess. That's why it was so expensive. It is pretty though. No regrets. No regrets. Okay, so another one back here. I love this plant. So this here is the Syngonium lance leaf. And I love this one so much more than like the angustatum we looked at, which is very similar with the lobes. But if I'm like downsizing, if I'm trying to kind of get rid of some plants, this is the one I'm keeping. The angustatum is one that I'm gonna move out. But I love this plant. I love its coloration. Very pretty. Even the backs, you can kind of see almost like a animal print to it, sorta. It's really nice when, let's see if I can, okay, I'm blinding you guys, but I'm trying to let you see. You see that patterning? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to show you just how pretty that patterning is on this one. You can see it. You can see it without me blinding you. But yeah, I love this plant. Syngonium lance leaf. I might have like one or two more that will be in my shop, but this is the one I am keeping for myself. And okay, so let's do the last one on the table back here. So this is the Syngonium Chiapense, and I'll have to insert video once again of this one. But before I do that, I did bring up one of its babies so you can see it up close. So it's beautiful. This is another one like the Frosted Heart that I said. You know, if someone only has a couple of Syngonium in their collection, it's either going to be the Frosted Heart or the Syngonium Chiapense. Because once again, it looks like a philodendron. It doesn't look like a Syngonium. Yeah, and they feel amazing. They're very kind of rubbery feeling, kind of like a latex, very smooth, soft feeling. It has a beautiful green color to it, and it's just a fabulous plant. So mine, I'll insert video here now of my plant. So it is, I am trying to grow it up the trellis. It does have I did get it a little too close to the grow lights, and there was a little burn on one of the leaves. But yeah, overall it's doing fine. It's a really nice grower. It grows fast. And yeah, I've made tons of propagations of that plant. Syngonium Chiapense. Love it. Okay, next is an interesting one. This was a more expensive one, not as expensive as the Syngonium aria, but this one was up there. And once again, I only have little propagations of this plant. So here we have, this is Syngonium strawberry ice, the strawberry ice. So the original plant, I do still have the mother plant. I didn't bring her up because she's kind of rehabbing right now. She's in my grow tent, and it doesn't have any of this. Well, it might have a little bit of pink on it still, but it has lost a lot of the pink. So it's so drippy. I grabbed a couple of the best propagations I have of this plant that really shows that pink coloration that is so pretty. So this one very much, when it doesn't have pink, it very much reminds me of the Syngonium Maria, which I used to have in my collection. But last year, the 2024 purge, it was one of the plants that I let go. And the reason I let it go is because it just looks so much like the strawberry ice. And I like the strawberry ice more, so I decided I'm only going to keep one, so I kept the strawberry ice. It's very pretty. Another dark leaf, almost blackish a little bit, but with that pink, that striking pink contrast to it. Maybe one of these will be in my shop update this week too. Maybe. We'll see. Syngonium strawberry ice. All right, so here's one I completely forgot about. This is Syngonium milk confetti. This is just a propagation from the original mother plant, which I no longer have. This is a beautiful one. I had both regular confetti and milk, and I decided I liked the milk confetti better. So that's the one that stayed in my collection. And I have a few propagations of this one, which should make it into the shop eventually. All right, we made it to the very last one. I kind of saved the best for last. Probably the most popular Syngonium out there at this time. And that would be the Syngonium Chiapense variegated. So I have a large one on the trellis. It doesn't really show up in the image. It's definitely hidden. It's behind this. So I'm including video of what that plant looks like. And it is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this was an imported plant. I did receive it from like Aroid Market or Aroid Asia, one of those two. And it imported beautifully. It looks amazing. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So that is the one on the trellis, and it's getting really tall. It's really getting close to, yeah, it's just getting to the point where I may have to chop it soon. So for those of you who have been hoping to see it in my plant shop, it may be sooner than you think. However, I do have one that I can show you up close. So this is another imported one. So this came in, this was from the last import. Where would that one, what was that one? I'll have to put the name of the company on the screen. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, it's doing wonderfully. It has given me 2 or 3 new leaves, and I think this was the original leaf. This was an original leaf, and then maybe this one. It might have been, or maybe I ended up chopping one of the leaves off. I'm not sure, but this might be original or it might be new. This for sure. These 2 here are definitely grown in my care, came out. Yeah, so this one's back here is living on the trellis. This one is living in my grow tent. And I'm intending to just keep this one in my grow tent. I don't need 2 up here. I'm leaving room for other stuff back here, but yeah, I just want to see how it grows in the grow tent. So far, so good. So that is Syngonium Chiapense, variegated, very popular. Once again, like the Syngonium Frosted Heart, the regular Syngonium Chiapense, this is another one that I think if people who are not Syngonium lovers, Syngonium collectors, I think a lot of them still have this Syngonium in their collection because it is just so beautiful. All right, so on the screen, this is how many we looked at today. And yeah, there was quite a few. And I hope you enjoyed like seeing all the different types of Syngonium that are out there. Of course, I don't have every Syngonium that is available. If I was going to, and I'm not looking to add any new Syngonium to my collection, but if the opportunity arose that I could add the variegated version of the Wendlandii called the Scrambled Egg Syngonium, that is totally one that I would want to add to my collection. But other than that, I think I have plenty. I think I have plenty of beautiful Syngonium, and I really don't need to add any more. And I don't need to add any more. I love all the ones I have, and yeah, I hope maybe if you aren't a Syngonium collector, that maybe this might have just kind of moved you in the direction of Syngonium. Like I said, they're just so easy care. They're so easy care. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say that they've struggled with Syngonium. The only time is maybe if they're struggling with pests like spider mites, which are a pain in the butt. That's probably the only time I've heard people complain about keeping Syngonium. But yeah, other than that, they're just wonderful. They're a wonderful genus of plants. So many different colors, so many different varieties, colors, and like texture. And yeah, they're amazing. So, all right, that's going to do it for a look at the Syngonium. Now I want to give you an update on that What's Your Favorite contest we had last week. And that was between the Peperomia kimnachii and the Philodendron tortum. So they're sitting here. It was between these 2 plants, and lots of people put in their votes on these. And the results are up on which is the winner. I haven't counted them up. I'm kind of guessing, you know what, I feel like it was a tie. I saw so many votes for each of those plants, so I kind of feel like it was a tie. For myself, choosing my favorite, it's really tough. I feel like I like them equally. Yeah. I guess if I have to pick one, I'll go with the tortum. Just because it's just so, maybe because it's more valuable. That's the only reason why. Maybe because it's more valuable. It's more prestigious than the peperomia. But yeah, they're both equally beautiful and I love them both. So thank you to those of you who put in your votes. Yeah, so that is gonna do it. Let me grab some plants for this closing. Different ones. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the different types of Syngonium. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.